I'm here on the Regulator 25 and I can't wait to show you some of the major features of this boat. All right, starting up in the bow of the Regulator 25, we have all the key features that you're going to need. Fully enclosed anchor locker with Lumar windlass. You'll notice in the front too we have optional Gemlux rod holder cup holders. On both the port and starboard side we have multiple cup holders that are under gunnel. This boat is shown with the optional upgraded stereo system, which includes two 6-inch speakers in the bow. Also an option on this boat that we see here is the diamond quilted upholstery along with the dove gray accents. All of the Regulator storage in the bow is LED lit, insulated, and drains overboard. Everything can also be considered dry storage as we have these elevated weather channels along with the black gaskets and stainless steel hydraulic hardware on all lids. Now all of the cushions are removable, which you can store, and all the tops of the lids are diamond plated non-skid. This serves as a fantastic fishing platform, especially when you include the removable table option, which has dual heights, one as a table height and also drops down to be equal height with the seats to add as a additional casting platform for the bow. The forward-facing seat backs are an option and they are also removable. And here in the floor we have a massive lockable macerated fish box, which also has storage for up to 6 rods. A very popular option for the bow area is going to be the forward sunshade. It attaches to the top of the T-top and has 4 carbon fiber poles and puts the entire bow under shade. Incorporated into both the port and starboard sides of the forward seating are dual USB ports. The forward-facing console seat is standard. This does come with foldable armrests, and the seat also doubles as an insulated drink box cooler. As we move down the starboard side, you can get a good feel for the height of the gunnels on the 25. Also incorporated into the gunnels is going to be our hose pipes, giving the Regulator a much larger feel when you come amidships into the stern. Located on the starboard gunnel point to fill the 20-gallon water tank. On the starboard side is going to be access into the full stand-up head. This is a fully plumbed system. It has a 9-gallon holding tank and a 6'4" standing room height. Also found in the head is going to be a mirror, internal light, and access to all of your electronics and batteries. Now this is the standard leaning post in the 25, and we also have an optional 2X tackle center, which will incorporate additional drawers and storage for all of your tackle supply. This tackle center is fantastic because it really opens up the cockpit area, allows for cooler storage underneath, and also has a dual width footrest. Incorporated into the back of the standard leaning post, you'll find 4 rocket launchers, 3 cup holders, and a total of 8 Plano box drawer storage boxes. As we come across the transom, we have a starboard side tuna door with freshwater shower. All right, so I'm standing on the bracket of the 25, and one of the things that I'm going to show you here really kind of points out the attention to detail that Regulator takes when constructing these boats. So we're at the threshold of the tuna door, and what we have here is 3 different parts of the boat coming together in one spot. And you'll see when you look at the trim of this boat that there is a lack of trim, but this is an actually completely hand-glassed and sanded piece of the boat. About 20 hours of hand sanding, painting, and glassing goes into making this very clean threshold of the boat. We do that to ensure a very, very clean look, and because it's the right way to do it. With Regulator, we really engineer things into the boat and spend a lot of time trying to create what we call a very clean look inside the boat. One of those ideas is to remove any sort of exposed hinges. So you'll notice on all of the access hatches, whether it be the bilge, the forward seating, the top of the tuna door. We use piano hinges for everything, so it creates hidden fasteners and also prevents additional flex on those points. Built into the transom, we have a 46-gallon live well and fish box. This is also LED lit and insulated. Our power option for the Regulator 25 is going to be dual Yamaha 250s. So the bracket serves an enormous amount of benefits to the boat itself, mostly in performance areas. We'll get into exactly why this creates additional space on the inside of the boat, but the bracket itself does act almost as if an extension of the hull, allowing those motors and those props to sit a little bit lower in the water, get those props a little bit deeper to avoid that turbulent water coming off the hull. This prevents cavitation, better fuel economy, and the bracket itself acts as flotation, allowing us to move that center of gravity a little bit further back, giving us a much larger bow area. Along with all of the other center console models in the Regulator line, you have this beautifully incorporated rear-facing seat, robust stainless steel hardware, completely finished fiberglass bottom, which allows this to completely tuck up underneath the coaming pads. You have your optional dual engine flush and a view of that beautiful, clean, finished Regulator bilge. Every pump in the Regulator will be located here in the bilge, whether it be your live well pump, your bilge pump, fresh water, macerator pump. Everything's going to be located in this one area, allowing maintenance to be very, very easy. On the topic of quality and attention to detail, what I'm going to do is, and I'd like you to follow me as I walk through here, is we're going to be checking out the deck. One thing this deck does not have, it doesn't have seams and it doesn't have screws. This is a single one-piece design that is completely one-piece fiberglass from up underneath the gunnels all the way across from the stern to the bow. We can walk from the cockpit area all the way to the front. There's not a single screw in the deck and not a single seam. If you see a screw, if you see seams in a deck, that is an area of two pieces coming together that actually is an area of weakness. We try to minimize those throughout this entire build. Now, as we look up to the top, we see our optional T-top rocket launcher with room for 5 rods. And the T-top for Regulator is a true work of art in itself that incorporates a multitude of different coring materials, which allows the Regulator factory to reduce weight, preventing any sort of pendulum effect in rough water. The actual square footage of the Regulator T-top is very, very large compared to the competition. Also incorporates spreader lights, downward facing LED lights, and multiple access points throughout the T-top, which allows you to add any electronics after the fact, access the inside of the top. And for the offshore fishermen, we are offering the Gemlux Deluxe Outrigger bases along with a full curtain enclosure that attaches to the T-top from here and comes back past the helm. As we come up to the helm, we'll see that this particular boat has the dual 1243 Garmin head units. Standard on the 25 is going to be your single 16-inch. Also standard is going to be the Yamaha CL5, the Garmin VHF radio, and the Fusion head unit. Here to the left of the helm, we have our Bennett trim tab controls below one of 2 cup holders, the Yamaha binnacles for the throttles, and we also offer an optional Edson power wheel. Now the dry storage here at the helm also is LED lit and has dual USB ports located inside. Here below the helm, we have an additional storage box that also allows for access to the batteries. On the deck at the helm, we have an optional Regulator branded helm pad. We're going to take a minute real quick and talk about the actual Regulator build. Regulator uses a big piece mentality, and what that means is that we try to minimize the amount of small pieces that are getting incorporated to the boat. This is an 8,000-pound, 25-foot boat and consists mainly of only 5 pieces, which is pretty amazing considering the size and the complexity of the boat. You have the hull, which is probably the heaviest part of the boat, the stringer system, which gets laid inside the hull while the hull is still inside the mold. That's chemically and mechanically bonded to the hull to ensure that we keep that true hull shape. After the hull gets pulled, the deck liner gets laid, which is number 3, And then we have the deck cap, which is piece number 4. This T-top console is going to be piece number 5. And on top of that, we're just talking about deck lids and things like that. So that's really what is the core that's allowing for that regulator ride. You got 24 degrees of dead rise, and we take what we have called the meat cleaver approach to busting waves. We're not trying to get up on top of those waves. We want to use a really strong, very heavy reinforced hull and bust through those waves to create a really soft ride. You mix that with a nice Carolina flare and you got one of the softest, driest rides in the industry.